right. So, what I'm going to be doing today is a session on how to release anger. So, whether you're somebody that jumps on here live or you're watching this later on, this is still going to work either way. Now, I'm not actually doing a session with a client. We're going to be doing it together. So, if you are watching this and you're driving or you're doing anything that's going to distract you, like the video, save it, and then come back to it later on when you have somewhere you can get nice and quiet. So again, we're going to be releasing anger at a deep, deep level. Now, really quick, I want to share with you my own personal experience with anger, because anger used to be my main emotion that I used to deal with. And there's 5 major emotions that we all deal with, whether it's anger, sadness, fear, hurt, or guilt. And so I'm going to actually be doing a series of these videos. So if you're not somebody who is a really angry person, that's okay. We'll still go back and release it. And I'm going to do a video for sadness, fear, et cetera, et cetera. So look out for those. I'll be putting them as a link somewhere here at the end of the video. Okay. So without further ado, let's jump into it. And feel free at any time, if anybody's on here, ask any question that you want, even if it's not directly related to what we're talking about. I'll be happy to answer it on the fly or towards the end. So let's get into releasing your anger. Now, the first thing we have to understand is that when negative emotions start, they are either something that happened to you when you're really, really young, like 0 to 7 years old, or believe it or not, certain things can be passed down genetically. So if your mother went through something while she was pregnant with you and it caused her a lot of anger, that can be passed down. Or even things that are before you were even born. All right. Your parents, your grandparents, your great grandparents, your great great grandparents. And so if you guys ever want to look into this a little bit deeper, I don't want to go too much into it now just for time purposes. But if you ever look into epigenetics, scientists have proven that memories are passed down through our DNA as a survival mechanism. And I've done so many of these sessions with people where they don't know something about their parent or their grandparent, and then they go, and we're going to do it right now, so stay on, and they access these memories of something that nobody ever told them. And then, days later or whatever, they go back and they verify and they ask them, hey, did this happen, to you before I was born or while you were pregnant with me? And sure enough, it's accurate every single time. So without further ado, we're going to jump into it. So what you want to do is just get somewhere nice and comfortable. If you don't have a bed or whatever, that's totally fine. You can do this sitting, but you want to make sure that you're relaxed. Okay. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to talk to your subconscious mind directly, and we're going to ask it some questions. So you don't have to necessarily keep your eyes closed the entire time. So if you open them, that's okay. But I just want you to know that what we're going to be doing here, okay? So for everybody that's watching, if you're watching now or later on, go ahead and close your eyes. You're not going to fall asleep, I promise. And get nice and comfortable and just allow yourself to relax. Now, the first thing that we need to do anytime we are releasing a negative emotion or a limiting belief is we have to ask permission. Okay. If we do not get 100% permission, okay, to let it go, it doesn't matter how much hypnosis you do, how much therapy you do, nothing will work. I can't tell you how many, it's got to be in the 100, 150 people that I've worked with on a personal basis that they've been in therapy for years, and they go to therapy and they've been in there week after week, year after year, and nothing changes. And the reason why is because they never ask the subconscious mind if it's okay to let go of whatever the emotion is. So first thing I want you to do is close your eyes and ask your subconscious mind in your head. You can say it out loud as well. And I just want you to say, subconscious mind, are you ready to release my anger today so that I could be aware of it consciously? And then sit and wait and listen. Now, some of you may not get an answer at all. That's okay. Just wait and relax. This is your first time doing this. So just be patient, okay? Now, for those of you who got 100% yes, your subconscious said, yes, I'm ready to release my anger, we can proceed forward. If it's no, or if it's unsure, It's because your subconscious mind thinks there's something what we call secondary gain. So secondary gain is basically it thinks there's some type of benefit for you to hold on to your anger. Now, here's the thing, okay? Because we're not doing this on a one-on-one basis, we may not be able to get it to agree 100%. We'll give it a shot, but if not, comment down below. I'll tell you what you can do to try to make that work. But when I first released my anger, I didn't want to let it go, right? And the reason why I didn't want to let it go is because I thought it was protecting me. Now, after really realizing it, I thought about all the things that anger had caused in my life, right? All the physical altercations, all the arguments with my friends, with girlfriends, with family members, all the pain that anger had caused me. And I realized, oh my God, my anger is actually not protecting me. It's actually causing me more harm. And then once I thought about, okay, if I let go of my anger, what will this allow me to achieve? What will this allow me to do? It allowed me to be at peace. It allowed me to be calm, and allowed me to have more success in my relationships in every aspect of life. The other thing is with anger is we think that it like motivates us, right? Well, if any of you are martial artists out there like myself, anytime when I'm wrestling or doing jujitsu and somebody gets really mad, what happens is they get this huge burst of energy. They're really strong. They're really fast. But then as soon as that burst is gone, they're completely gassed. And then they usually end up losing the round. And it's the same thing here. If you feel like you're using anger to motivate you in business or in life or whatever, it's short-term motivation. It just goes and then it goes away, and it goes and it goes away. So if you release your anger and you're able to be calm, it'll allow you to have consistent motivation all the time. The other thing was, it just left my mind. It'll come back here in just a second. With anger. Okay, well, it'll come back to me. We'll go over it. So now, if as I'm talking to you and your subconscious is like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. I'm ready to let it go. Only let me give you a freaking warning here. Okay, listen very closely. Do not proceed forward with the rest of this exercise unless your subconscious mind is 100% okay to let it go. Here's how you know it's 100% okay to let it go. Okay. I want you to think about your name and ask yourself, is my name XYZ? Is my name Dom? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. 100%. Yes. So notice how you feel when you ask yourself your own name and how sure you are of that. That's how sure you need to be on whether or not it's okay to release your anger. Now, whether or not you guys believe this is going to work, I don't care about that. All I want to know if it's 100%. If it's not, what's going to happen is if you proceed forward with this against my warning, we're going to go and we're going to find these events that have caused you anger. We're going to go back to them. It's not going to release. And then you're going to be pissed off the rest of the night or the rest of the day or even the rest of the week. Okay. So please, 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 if you are unsure about it, if your subconscious is unsure, don't do it. Okay. So, and again, leave a comment down below if your subconscious is not 100%, even if it's 99. Okay. I can't warn you enough. So without further ado, those of you who are 100%, close your eyes again, and we're going to find out where this started. We want to find the root. Okay. So if you think of a plant like a weed, if we just cut the top off the weed and we just go over after something that you were angry about recently, we got to get to the root of it. Okay. So I want you to say in your head, subconscious mind, what's the root cause of my anger? Was it before, during, or after my birth? Now, I know some of you out there are going to be like, well, it's after. I can't imagine it being before. Just trust me on this and just pretend as if it were possible. Okay. Now, you may be unsure, and that's okay. Again, this may be your first time doing this, but let's just double check. I ask it again, subconscious mind, what's the root cause of my anger? Was it before, during, or after my birth? Now, if you feel like you're kind of stuck in between two, I want you to go with whatever one feels stronger. Even if you're like, it's saying before, but I just can't imagine how that could be possible. Just go with whatever comes to you, okay? Now, if it's before your birth, it's going to be genetics, or if you've ever had a dream before, where in this dream, something happened to you and it was so vivid, it was so real that you wake up from the dream and you're like, oh my God, you know, you feel panic, you feel sad, you feel angry. Those dreams can actually affect us subconsciously. So if that is the case, if at some point in your life you had a dream that affected you subconsciously, your subconscious will perceive it as a past life. Whether you believe in past lives or not, it doesn't matter. It's just a metaphor for something you experience in a dream state. So if it was before your birth, ask your subconscious mind, was it a past life or was it passed down genealogically? You're going to get one or the other, okay? Now, if it's during your birth or after, we're going to get to that in a second. So just be patient, guys. Obviously, I'm doing this as a group, so it takes a little bit longer. Now, if it's past life or genes, I want you to ask if you were to know how many lifetimes or how many generations ago, you're going to get a number. Let's say you get 2 generations. That's your grandparents. And what's going to happen is just be patient. I cannot stress this enough. Relax and just let your mind work itself out. It'll start off very broad and very general. And then all of a sudden, you'll have a specific event or you'll have a general understanding of what was going on at that time. Okay, now, when you have it, you can open your eyes. We'll come back to that. For the people that it's during your birth, I want you to ask your subconscious mind, if you were to know the very first time I felt anger, how many months was I during my birth? While my mom was pregnant with me, how many months was I? Now, if it's after your birth, I want you to ask your subconscious mind, if you were to know the very first time you ever felt anger, what age were you? And then go with whatever number pops in. Now, here's the thing. If it says 10 or 15 or 20, that's not it, okay? It's always going to be something before the age of 7. So if it's like 8, okay, ask your subconscious, are you sure it was it sooner? Are you sure it was it sooner? Are you sure it was it sooner? And you want to find the root of it. If we don't get to the root, it'll help, but we want it to get 100% gone, okay? So guys, can you do me a favor? This is like my first time really live streaming in a long time. Can you guys comment down below so that I know like you guys can hear me and this is working? I don't know if I'm going to be able to see the chat, but you can open your eyes and we'll go through this, the people that are in here. Could you guys do me a favor? Please do that. Somebody say something. Maybe I can't even access it, whatever. We'll figure it out. Okay. Anyways. So once you have the event, I'm hoping that everybody does. If not, listen to this and you can come back and listen to this recording later and we'll find it. Now, you may be thinking, do I have the event or am I just making this up? Here's how you know. When you think about this genetic, past life, during birth or after, you will physically feel the negative sensations in your body. You'll feel it somewhere. It might not be super strong, but you'll feel it. Maybe it's in your chest, in your head, in your back. You'll feel it. And that's how you know you have it. So here's what I want everybody to do. Wherever you have this event, I want you to imagine like you're looking at this event from an outside perspective, like you're a spectator, okay? And as you're looking at this event, I want you to ask your subconscious mind, what positive learnings can you take from this event that will allow you to let go of your anger, okay? And as the learnings start to come in, this is very important. The learnings need to be positive, okay? If it's like, oh man, don't trust anybody ever again, that's not really a positive learning, right? If it's all, punch first and ask questions later, that's not a positive. So you always want to frame things in a positive. What did you learn from this so you can let go of your anger? I'm going to give you guys a second. If you're watching this later, just pause it or whatever. Now, as you gather all the learnings, okay, once you're done and you feel like, okay, I got it all. I'm empty. I want you to thank your subconscious mind for the learnings, store the learnings, and then as you're looking at this event, check on those feelings that were in your body. Are they there or are they gone? Now, if they're not 100% gone and there's still a little bit left, here's what I want you to do. I want you to push the event away from you so it goes further and further away. It gets smaller and smaller and smaller until all the feelings were gone. You might feel like you might even have to stretch. Some of you may even be crying right now, okay? And that's okay. Once you push it away in that event, you get the full release. Now what I want you to do is I want you to imagine like you're pulling it back in and you're seeing it through your own eyes. So if this is from your grandparents or a past life or during your birth, see it through their eyes. Do you still feel the anger? See it as a kid. Do you still feel the anger? Okay. If you do still feel the anger, we're going to float out to the third person, look at it, check on the feelings again. Are they there? Okay, go back down in, and you're going to float in and out of these two positions, seeing it through your own eyes, first person, out of it, third person, first person, third person, first person. And you just keep doing this back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until once you go down into it, all the feelings are gone. Okay, so I'll take a moment. Now, here's the best part. This is my favorite part of doing this. You guys gotta stay and do this part. This is the best part. Once it's gone, float out. Now you're just kind of looking at it and you're like, wow, I'm not angry about that anymore. So listen to this very carefully. What I'd like your subconscious mind to do is begin to make your way back throughout your lifetime, all the way back to now, only as quickly as you can let go of all the anger on all the events leading back up to now. As you come across each event, I want you to see yourself in the event from the third person perspective, preserve the positive learnings, and then let go of all the anger on all the events all the way back to now. Now, if you're like me, how I used to be, you could be here for a minute or a minute and a half. But what's going to happen is you're going to get a highlight reel of a bunch of events throughout your lifetime where you felt anger. You're going to be like, oh, yeah, I remember that time. Oh, damn, I forgot about that. Oh, yeah, I remember that time. And just let all those memories flood in. You're going to see it from the third person, preserve the learnings, and let it go. Preserve the learnings, let it go. Take your time. Now, once you've gone through that, just keep asking yourself, what else do I need to let go of? What else? What else? What else? Once you're all the way done, you'll feel empty. You'll be like, man, I can't think of anything else. Once you're done, open your eyes, think about what you had for breakfast or whatever. And then after you've come to it, now you can see how cool that was. Now, here's where we test it, all right? So close your eyes, and I want you to think about something in the past where you used to feel anger, okay? An event in the past where you're upset. And I want you to try to find the feelings, and you may find that you cannot. I want you to try and try and try. And what you're going to notice is that you can see the memory, but the physical feelings aren't there. You will no longer feel angry. Now, if it didn't work, it doesn't mean that the technique doesn't work. It's just there's some type of miscommunication either on my end or maybe you're not understanding, and that's okay. But for those of you who know what I'm talking about right now, it's like there's an invisible force field. You can see it, but there's no emotion. Perfect. Now, I want you to pretend you're in the future in an event where if it happened in the past, you would have felt angry. So pretend you're in the future, whatever. Your boss says something to you, your wife, your husband, and then check. Wow, I don't feel angry about it. And then you can come back to the room, open your eyes whenever you're ready. Now, I wish I knew what I was doing with the chat room because I know you guys probably have a lot of questions. So let me answer a couple questions, okay? Now, if you're somebody and for some reason this didn't work, it's not that it doesn't work. You just need one-on-one attention. That's all it is, okay? And I know a lot of you probably know this, but we actually offer a free one-on-one hypnosis session through Zoom with someone from my team who can actually walk you through that process. If it's not working, we'll explain to you exactly why, okay? So there'll be a link down in the description if you guys want to book that session. Moving forward. So there's a couple reasons why this worked. Number one, always remember, guys, I seriously wish that everybody in the world could do this because the world would be so much more of a peaceful place. And also, wait until we get to limiting beliefs here in the series. You guys, I mean, this is going to change your life. Even just getting rid of anger will change a lot of lives, let alone all the stuff that we do. So a couple of reasons why this works. And here's what I want you guys to take moving forward in your own lives and how this will help you on your day-to-day. Number one, always, we have to ask permission. If we do not get permission, we cannot let it go. It won't work. And I know some of you who may jumped on here who are doing this, you're like, man, I don't want to let it go. Okay. I'll tell you guys a quick story. This is like 4 months ago. I was in jiu-jitsu. This guy, he got me to submission and he pulled it a little too hard and popped my elbow. Okay. I was fucking pissed. You can imagine how pissed you would be if somebody injured your elbow, like literally hyperextended, popped and everything. And I'm like, oh my God, I just got back off an injury. Now this. So I'm driving home and I'm like, dude, jujitsu, man, it's just injuries and injuries and injuries. And I'm asking myself, now I can like let go of stuff really quick. But my subconscious was like, no, doesn't want to let it go. And why? The reason I want to let it go is because, like, man, I need to be pissed off so I can protect myself. The next time that happens, I'll have a defense for it, right? But I had to negotiate. I go, look, if I'm mad at this, next time I see this guy, it's going to be all weird. And then it's going to like put all bad energy around me and in the gym. And I was like, you know what? It's just not worth it. It's not worth it anymore. Like, anger has caused me so much problems in the past. It's not worth it. So once I said that, I'm like, look, if I let it go, I can move on with my life. There's a good saying. Being angry at somebody else is like drinking poison, expecting the other person to die. And every time I think about that, I go, okay, I'm okay to let go. And then I took the learnings. What did I told myself, okay, make sure my cardio is intact so I never get that tired. Make sure to practice. Go with people who I trust and who are safe to go with, because some people aren't safe to go with, and you know who those people are. Once I got all that, I was like, boom, gone, done, no more. Okay. So we have to get it to agree 100%. The second reason this works is because we're doing a process called disassociation. So disassociation means that we're like pulling ourselves out of it and we're looking at it from a third person perspective. Okay. Now, the reason that works is because everything that we ever experience in our life, we experience through the first person. We are the character in the movie, right? And so when we go through life, we really feel the feelings of whatever it is we're experiencing. Now, when you take a step out of it and you look at yourself, it doesn't feel as much, you don't have as much emotional charge. So think about it like this. If I was watching the scariest movie ever on my iPhone, wouldn't be that scary, even if it's the scariest movie of all time. And that's because my iPhone's small, the volume isn't that loud. But if I took that same movie and I put it up on my TV, it's going to be scarier. And then if I took that same exact movie and I was in the movie theater and the freaking screen's all huge, there's people around, you feel the energy of the room, the sounds, everything, the whole experience is going to be freaking, if you've ever gone to a movie, movies are always funnier at the movie theater. They're always scarier. They're always better because of the environment. And then if you were the actual character in the movie that was getting attacked by a ghost or was getting chased through the woods by some guy with a chainsaw and you had no way to defend yourself, it would be the scariest thing of in your entire life, right? And that's how we live our life. We are the character in the movie where everything that happens to us, we have so much emotional charge. So by distancing ourselves from it and looking at it, it's like taking ourselves out of the movie and now we're just watching it on our iPhone. It doesn't have that much meaning. The other reason why that works is because when we're stuck in our head, we cannot think of solutions. We can't think of answers to problems. That's why I said you're stuck in your head. You're stuck in your box. You can't look at it from an outside perspective. And so when you look at it from an outside perspective, you can go, oh, that's why I went through this. That's what I learned from this. Okay, cool. You take the learnings, move on. It's the same reason why in football, they have somebody up in the skybox, right? Let's say like Tom Brady, greatest quarterback of all time. He can only see from here, whatever is through his helmet. He can't see from an outside perspective. That's why they have those guys there. So they can go, look, here, 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 here. It's the same thing in that exercise we just did. We're looking at it from an outside perspective and we're going, okay, what did I learn from this? And then boom, let it go. Okay. Lastly, the last reason why this works is because we are taking the positive learning. So our subconscious mind, one of its primary objectives, the number one thing above everything else is protection. But one of its primary objectives is always to learn. Now, I want you guys to listen to me very closely because I know this is happening to you because it happened, it used to happen to me all the time. If you've ever been driving before and all of a sudden, maybe you're listening to a song on the radio and it like reminds you of a time in high school where you got your heart broke, like I did. Right? Like we all probably did. And you start thinking about that memory and all of a sudden you start feeling bad. What's happening is your subconscious is trying to communicate with you. It's saying, hey, John, hey, Michael, hey, Mary, you have not resolved this issue. It's been 20 years and you still feel sad about this event. So your subconscious is communicating. It's like, hey, let's resolve this. Let's resolve this. Let's resolve this. But what do? We go, oh man, whatever. And we get on our phone. We try to distract ourselves and we forget about it for a little while. And then what happens? Maybe we're getting ready for bed and we're like laying down and we're thinking, we're watching TV. And then all of a sudden your subconscious is like, here you go. We still haven't resolved it. So here's why that happens. And here's what you do. The reason that happens typically when we're driving or we're getting ready to go to bed is when we're in those states, our subconscious mind, our brainwave cycles start to slow down, right? When you're doing something mundane like driving, your brainwave cycles are going like this. And when our brainwave cycles down and our conscious mind starts to check out, you know how you drive and then all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, I missed my exit. Oh, who was just driving right now? So when that happens, your subconscious is opening up to communicate with you and it's bringing up all the repressed emotions. That's why people feel like, I just love driving. I feel like I just have time to myself and I can resolve a lot of my issues, right? So here's what you do. Next time that happens while you're driving, think about it from a third person. Be careful, obviously, and take the learnings. What did I learn from that breakup? What did I learn from the business, owner that screwed me over? What did I learn from the guy that, my best friend that did this or did that? Once you take the learnings, that's it. Capiche. Literally, guys, I can't tell you how much this one little technique, when you apply it with the different emotions, how much it's changed my life. I used to be so angry. I didn't even know this, but everywhere I walked, my fists were in a ball like this. Like I would walk around like this and I had a scowl on my face. Like if you know me, I'm telling the truth. That's the old me. And now I don't do that anymore. Okay. So guys, if you are dealing with any other negative emotions, if you're somebody who's super anxious, you have a lot of fear, you feel like, oh my God, I want to start this business, but I'm afraid. Or I want to talk to this customer, but I'm afraid. I want to talk to this girl or this guy, but I'm afraid. It's all the stuff that's built up throughout your lifetime. It's like our emotional cup we talk about. When that cup is full from all the events, any little tiny thing will just cause us to overflow with it. So we have to go back and we have to release it. Okay. If you're sad and depressed all the time and you're crying all the time, it's because of everything you've gone through and you may not remember or be conscious of it, but there's so many things that have built up throughout your life that you're not aware of that is causing you to feel that way. Okay. So guys, again, if you want to sign up for a free one-on-one hypnosis session with someone from my team, now the purpose of doing it with someone from my team, I just don't have the time to do it anymore. They're going to run you through some hypnotic testing, talk about this experience. And then if you decide and we decide that it's both a good fit, then you will potentially work with me later on. So if you have any questions, again, the chat jacked up. I don't know how to do it. So hopefully maybe after there'll be comments and I can look at it. Guys, hit the like button. If you haven't, please do that for me. That would be, I highly, highly appreciate it. Think about this really last thing. Think about somebody literally, okay? 65% of the people that are in prison right now are in prison because of anger. Somebody said something to them wrong, stepped on their shoes, did something, and they lose their cool. That's what it was. That was the one thing. It's too late now. I'll just have to talk about it some other time. They lose their cool. They do something stupid that they regret. And then now they're in prison for 20 years. It happens all the time. So I want you to think about anybody in your life who's feeling anger. Send this to them. Okay. If this can help them, send it to them, because literally you can save somebody from going to prison. You can save somebody from a breakup, right? You can help somebody heal from all the times where they felt anger throughout their entire life. Okay, guys? So thank you for watching. I'm going to do another one of these, maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. I don't know, but I'm going to do a series. Now it's going to be mundane. If you're listening to this and you come back and listen to another one, you're gonna be like, okay, he already said this. Listen to it anyways, man. Repetition is the mother of learning. So Thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next video.